Guys, it's Jason. I understand that this really isn't a facility, but the creek bed and the tunnel and some of the trees are just as important really as the facility, so I thought I'd shoot a couple quick videos on those. This is a creek that I laid. Basically the construction is hollow core doors underneath here, foam, 2-inch foam insulation sitting on top of that. And of course over here I've built it up a little higher, got some rock castings in here, more rock castings in the back. This bridge is a kit that I built. I don't remember the name of the company, although they do quite a few different bridges. Then I used some concrete abutments underneath here, which are weathered and whatnot. The water is Envirotex. The rocks are all pretty much pieces of rock castings that I broke off and glued down. I used some really fine dirt in here, and you can see that there's some variation in color. I'm going to try to get a little better shot. So in this shot you can see the variations in color, like the darker dirt here and the lighter dirt there. So what I did is I purposely used a couple different colored dirts. I was working from a photograph I had of a stream in Yosemite, and there were these layers of darker dirt around the edges and some, I guess, the narrower areas, and it was basically, you know, brush and needles from trees and stuff like that that had built up in these areas. So I was going for that. It actually worked out better than I expected. Most of this is talus and dirt that I've sifted over the talus. Some of it is broken up pieces from rock castings, things like that, and same thing over on this side with the talus coming down off of the rocks and whatnot. There's a few weeds and stuff down in here. I plan to add some more, like some cattails and things like that, but haven't quite got to it yet. So the bridge itself was painted a flat black. It's just weathered with chalk. I didn't do a whole lot of weathering on it because I wanted it to look fairly new. Not particularly beat up, but that's how it worked out. The other thing I wanted to point out is it's pretty still water. It's just the Envirotex. I bought some of the water effects stuff that you can put on top of it to get waves and stuff. And at one point I had, you know, water trailing off of all of the exposed rocks. Kind of, you know, touched it up to make it look white, to give it the impression that the water was moving, but honestly I didn't like the way it looked. I think I just overdid it, so I ended up rubbing it all off, although there is a little bit more in the back of the stream that I'll show you. So here in the back you can see where there's some rapids still showing. Those I didn't rub off. Just kind of lived with those, but at some point I probably will rub that off, and at least if nothing else make them smaller. So here's where the stream kind of disappears back into the trees there on the far side of the warehouse building. You see I put some logs in the water and things like that. I'm not 100% satisfied with this. I think the banks are a little bit steep. I don't think I did a particularly good job of like having rock and talus falling naturally into the water. So I learned a few lessons from this, but it was part of the process. So there it is. That's the bridge in the creek. Leave me any questions, comments. Always interested in your feedback. And once again, thank you for watching.